Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. Welcome to another fantastic episode of SameDadPodcast. Here it's Jesse and my sister Kellie. How you doing today, Kellie?
I'm good. It's Friday. How are you?
Oh, we're doing great. We're hanging in there. We survived a cold that swept through the family. I guess that's just kind of part of sending the kiddo to school or whatnot. We can't really pinpoint when it happened, but we're thinking either at school or over at the therapy building that he goes to. I think he was mouthing some of the equipment over there, and no matter how much Lysol and disinfectant and baby wipes and this and that you do, we can only do so much as humans. We're just kind of stacking the bet in our favor, but you can still get sick. And he got a respiratory infection, like a sinus cold into his chest a little bit. And then of course he got sick over the weekend, so we saw it settling in a little on Thursday, but he went to school on Friday, and then we saw that he had started to kind of show signs of getting sick, and we wanted to go see Grandpa John race his drag racing car that weekend, because he was only an hour out of town, and the circuit that he's on travels a lot of places. I think Wisconsin, Minnesota, maybe one of the Dakotas, I don't know, and then all over Iowa. And he was an hour from where we are, so we went out there Friday because we kind of had an idea that Eli had a cold settling in. And the way the races are formatted is I believe the first night they'll do like a qualifying or practice run, and then it's a 2-day long tournament. And then, once you're eliminated, there's really no point to stay. So we wanted to get there the first night, so we could see Grandpa John and see the car and watch him do a qualifying run or a practice run. So we went out there, had a good time, visited for a few hours, and then came back home. And sure enough, that Friday night, Eli's cold really took off like we figured it would. He ran a fever off and on all weekend, and then Monday rolled around, and of course, reluctantly, I call the doctor and ask what's wrong. And it's not 2019 or 2018 anymore. So the only things that a kid can have is either diarrhea or COVID, right? So I said, reluctantly, I shared the symptoms over the phone, and then we go through the craziness of going to the doctor. We go, first thing they want to do, obviously, is, without saying anything, but we kind of assumed already, is they wanted to run a COVID test. So the way the appointment worked was we waited out in the parking lot, and we called him to tell him we were there, and then we waited for like another hour on top of that. And then we finally get to go in, and they have us go through the sketchy side door of the building, and there's like shower curtains up everywhere. The doctor comes in with a rubber suit, some gloves, and like a SWAT team helmet on. Like it looks like that fucking scene from E.T. when they got him in the plastic chamber about ready to do experiments on. Scene that always chokes me up because he's all chalky and shriveled, and he kind of turns to the side.
Yes.
But we get in there, and this is just, tonight I get it, but at the same time, it's like, come on now. So So the COVID test is laying on the bed when we get in the room, and yeah, I kind of already saw where this was going, and he didn't get any prescription drugs or nothing. They said, well, we'll do, it's up to you if you want to do a COVID test, but I mean that's what everybody's going to ask anyway, because he already missed school that day, and so we do the COVID test and we wait 24 hours, and even if you're like 99% sure your kid doesn't have COVID, it still bugs you to wait around for 24 hours to get a test back. So there's another day of school missed, and then he runs another fever on like Tuesday for a little bit. So he missed school Wednesday, and then Thursday, for whatever reason, they didn't have any school at the building. So today was his first day of school for the week, and the one saving grace that got us through all of this was his new iPad came in the mail Monday morning. You talk about like a game changer, a game saver. It was we had gotten it through a grant for children with disabilities. I found out about it through his the therapy building that he goes through. One of the therapists brought it up, and it's our second time to apply and to get the grant. It's $700 to $1,000 a year that you can just spend on your kid for stuff relative to their intellectual disability. And for Eli, that iPad's like a security blanket. I mean, it's just kind of helps him get through a lot of crazy shit, and yeah, it really delivered. I mean, it's a top of the line iPad that I didn't have to pay for, so that's pretty killer. And then it shows up that Monday morning. So if there's any parents out there that have kids with any disabilities, look into these grants and these special programs, because there's a lot of cool shit out there. Not everybody's going to tell you about it like they did that for us, but if you get online and look around, kick some doors down, and there's some good stuff out there. And with that grant, we got Eli a bike over the summer, and then we just scored him a brand new iPad through it. So and there's several other things that we got through there. So anyway, yeah, the iPad arriving that Monday was huge. That was kind of the silver lining that got us through. And then, of course, Mom and Dad get sick, and I still got remnants of the cold. I think Mom's getting over it better than me, but it just is what it is. Sometimes the cold is nature's way of saying, "Hey, bro, slow the fuck down," or pay attention, or take it easy or something, so that's what we've been doing.
Well, you brought up the point that I was going to make and made it well, and that is, when prior to 2020 did we ever try to pinpoint where we got a cold?
Right.
I mean, we've learned a lot over this last 18 months, and the conversation just continues. There's a lot of stuff that's, being discussed now about vaccines and boosters. And, I'm not shy to say that I'm for the vaccine. I really would hope that those who have been on the fence about it to really consider it. Never promised to eliminate infections, but certainly there's plenty of data out there that does say that it's definitely reduced people from going to the hospital and dying. And I don't know about you, but I'm good with that. I'm happy if we have a tool for that, so I'm going to use it. So yeah, that's a scary thing. I do some work in schools right now remotely, and do some outreach about testing and some federal government programs related to that. And I'm always surprised how, again, I guess I'll say, when there are tools available that you choose not to use, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you know, our family, and my husband's a mechanic, and so I use tool references a lot, or the toolbox. I mean, you're not going to show up to change an engine with, you know, a carpenter's belt and, you know, a few hammers and nails. I mean, you're going to bring the specific toolbox and all that it could have to get the job done. So I know everybody feels a little differently about that, but I'm glad to hear that Eli is well, and you guys are on the mend. We had a cold come through here, and it did stop us in our tracks for about 3 days, just because we were kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. And, you know, every time I would get up out of the seat, you know, I'd say, okay, can I breathe deep enough? Can I breathe out deep? You know, and so never before have I guess, questioned that. So, yeah, it changes everything. That's for sure. So, so now I hear that Nicole is out getting reinforcements or groceries. You know, sometimes we go without when we're not feeling well. So maybe just kind of getting things restocked and back on track will make you feel better too.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Some of the meals that I've thrown together just to get by, you know, like, it's funny. Like the other night I had I had ramen, the blue pouch. I had some ramen, and I had a sleeve of Smarties for dessert, and I drank tea with it. And I'm there watching wrestling, eating this, and I'm thinking, my meal was different versions of powder mixed with fluid or not. Like, I just devoured multiple powders, like with some noodle in there, you know.
Dehydrated noodle at that until you brought it to life.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, but you know, that's when that fistful of ramen pouches that you randomly grab 3 months, 4 months prior, man, that's when that stuff is like, all right, I'm here to do my one duty, and that's, you know, feed your ass at 9:30 p.m. or whatever the case, you know. And yeah,
we had the same experience last night. So 9:30 tends to be our dinner time right now. For whatever reason, we're still like on summertime, and you know, it always gets bumped late in the summer months, but we haven't really drawn that back, and here we're already back into school, and you know, we should be kind of adjusting. But went out to the golf course last night with the two guys, and came back, and we were famished, you know, because we walked 9. We got there so late that, you know, the carts were no longer available. So we all looked at each other like, can we do this? Can we even walk 9? Can we do it before sundown or before it's, you know, dark out? So we get 7 in. We did walk 7. So on the way home, I'm thinking, what do we have to eat? And always a crowd pleaser, I turned around and said, you guys want me to make breakfast? And they acted like I might have said, like, you know, filet mignon, you know. It was, and as they're eating, like, this is the best breakfast I've ever had. So yeah, it's the simple things. But yeah, those things, you've got some eggs, bread, you know, and cheese. Cheese is always a good fortifier. You know, I think we had some slices of American cheese. They like that in their eggs. And a few potatoes. I had to cut some eyes off, and we were in business. Oh, I think I had a little bit of bacon. The same bacon, mind you, that my father got me for my birthday. So if you've ever received a gift of meat, you know, you think, it became a joke early on when Dad kind of started doing that. But at Christmas time, especially, he usually stocks our freezer full of meat. So that meat came in handy last night.
Yeah, there's no better bacon than birthday bacon.
That's what it was. It was tasty.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, I got a nice chair here. I don't know if I can. Hard to show a chair off while my ass is in it at the same time, but there's like a little sneak peek there. I got it was the 4th of July parade. We got family here in town. Nicole's cousin I believe, which would also, that'd be my cousin too, right? Isn't that how I would, like, if
Yes,
you marry
because
in,
of marriage, yes.
yeah. So my cousin, we were in her living room back on the 4th of July, and she had brought a couple of extra chairs into the living room for all the guests because we had met up and then we got ready for the parade, and she mentioned how she was wanting to get rid of this office chair, and I was definitely in the market for one, and said, well, I'll take it off your hands, and she said, all right. So then, some time went by. Obviously, I don't know, you do the math, 4th of July to yesterday, however long that's been. We finally, she texts Nicole and says, hey, does Jesse still want this chair? And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll take it. And so she took it to work with her, and then I drove over to where she works yesterday morning and picked it up, and I had a $20 bill on me, and I was like, well, I'm not. I think she works over at like a senior citizen or assisted living facility, and I kind of had a little bit of dad in me. I'm not leaving the compound until she takes this $20 bill for this chair, because she's such a sweetheart, such a kind person. I think she was just gonna give me the chair, and I don't, I'm gonna give her something for the chair. And she said, don't worry about it. I only paid 15. I said, well, here, make a profit. Here, take this 20. Get some lunch, or hell, just give the 20 to somebody else when I leave. Whatever. Just I want to know that I gave you, something for the chair. And it's a great chair. I've been sitting in it, doing paying some bills, doing some office work, and then I just will it over to the side, and I play some old video games on my computer, and I was playing some Excite Bike earlier and a couple other games. It's comfortable. It's nice, because I was, for a long time, almost a year or more, I was just working with the remnants of a $40 table and chair set from Walmart. It was the last chair of the whole set that I kept, just so I wouldn't have to be on my knees to like reach something, or if I knew that I was going to be working on the floor, I could sit down. Like, for example, it takes it out of me to take like a 24 pack of waters and stock them motherfuckers on the bottom shelf of a fridge. That's some hard ass work. But you just get this chair out, you get that little folding chair out. So I hung on to it for that, and like old Rocky, when he go see Adrian at the cemetery, he had that old chair stuffed up in the tree. I just kept that old chair around so I could whip it out when I had to do shit. And it ended up being my everything chair, but it was rough. It was so worn down that it was just like all the piping and shit was just smashed to you. Like it didn't have any cushion. So I still got the folding chair, but it's sure nice to actually have an office chair now. I mean, it's freaking great. It leans back and everything.
Well, I'm certainly happy for you. That was a hell of a sale. I mean, talking about an office chair like it's a lazy boy recliner. I mean, that you've really been missing out.
Yeah.
I have to say, I bought this weird chair at Office Depot. I don't think I'm going to show you. I might bring a picture up at some point, but it's literally a wobbly stool, and it's that way on purpose so that you can kind of lean forward a little bit, kind of relieve some pressure off your back. It actually raises like a bar stool, so if you've got like a Vera desk that rises. And they thought I was crazy for buying it because it looks ridiculous. Not only it looks like a space age chair, it's like the Jetsons. Let me see if I can do something real quick. So
Nice.
So this thing is like magic. So you can rest your feet up on a cube I have, but then I can be up. I can even stand and lean against it, and it will, it just kind of leans to you. But sometimes I do miss a traditional chair like you've got there. So Good for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. 20 bucks for this thing, man. It's nice. Definitely definitely a game changer for sure.
Those are generally at least $50 to $100 in your typical Office Depot. So, yeah, you got a score there. Good for you.
Nice, right?
I'm a little alarmed, I have to say. Imagine you taking a folding chair up to the refrigerator to put some bottles in. I guess I say for myself, I don't even take it that far. I just keep them warm out in the garage. I don't even bring them in.
Yeah, ever since I had back surgery, and then my knees friggin' suck, and I'm fat. So you combine all that, I'm 40 and I'm fat and my knees suck. So it's nice sometimes to have like just something there like midway, you know.
I get it. I do. So when I don't know, what else you want to talk about? What else is on your mind tonight?
Oh, not too much. I'm ahead in the college football pick'em pool I got going.
Cool.
I'm in the lead there. I had a good opening week. I kind of jumped out in front, and I took some risks. I kind of have, I don't want to give away all my secrets, but I'm kind of looking at it different this year, like from a standpoint of like, okay, I'm up by so many games, and I know that there's a metric shit ton, a crap ton of games every week, because it's all the Division I games. Any game that has a Division I team, I believe they're all on there. So you're talking like 70, 80 games a week. But with the way college football is scheduled, maybe only a half dozen to 10 of them games will be, maybe could go either way, or they're high, and then 2 or 3 of that small portion are high profile games. And you just kind of think like, okay, if I take this calculated risk, knowing that the other 8 or 9 participants are going to maybe pick one team over the other, then if I'm wrong, I lose that game that I have over them. You know what I mean? So like, not only are you trying to figure out who's going to win or lose, but you got to try to think, okay, like, who would the majority go with on this? And am I confident enough that if I'm the minority on the votes, I'm going to lose this game I have up on 6 or 7 people?
Sure. Yeah, you have to think like that, especially for those games that are so hard to pick or they're so equal.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a funny story. I'll tell you, last time we did these pick'ems, I was in Texas, and a majority of the guys that participate are guys I met in Texas, co-workers and buddies of mine, and Dad's in there, Nicole's in there, a couple of family members, some friends from the past are in there, some acquaintances, and anyway, so it would have been 2 years ago, because last year the football season was a mess because of COVID, so we didn't do the pick'ems. So 2 years ago we do the pick'ems, and we get all the way to the end, and there's like over 500 games. Okay, like some absurd, like 600, 700 games. I don't remember, but one thing that I failed to do setting that one up was I didn't set it up to where it would auto pick for you if you missed a game. Like, it's set up now so where, like, if I have a brain fart or I forget, like, for example, there's 2 games tonight. So if I were have forgotten those games, it would auto pick the favorite for me. So at least I had a horse in the race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I forgot, I wasn't thinking, I was new to the process. And I didn't set that the first go around. 2 years ago, and between there being a couple of games that were missed by folks, it ended up being a tie, believe it or not. A buddy of mine named Jesse and Dad tied at the end. All these fucking games, okay? And as a tie, like I'm talking like some astronomical freaking odds to tie, right? I mean, hundreds and hundreds of games, like probably, I don't remember the exact figure, well over 500 games, I believe. And there was a tie, and unfortunately, the tie was because, I mean, we had all missed games here and there by just not knowing, or because they play every now and then, they shoot out a Wednesday or a Tuesday game, like a low profile one. So my dad had missed a game that was a landslide game that everyone would have picked a particular team, but he missed voting or picking a game. So, and I'm sure that probably Jesse missed a couple, I missed a couple. I mean, so in the long run, it went out in the wash. But what I'm saying is, there wouldn't have been a tie had I at least made it to where it would auto pick a favorite. But because of this smattering of inaccuracies there, we ended up with a freaking tie at the end of the year. So just odds, I don't know what, 1 out of a million that there'd be a tie, but we had two guys tie. So this year, hopefully there won't be a tie.
Was there any kind of award or just bragging rights or what?
Oh, I don't know. Just to do it. I didn't have any. This was when it's structured across the country. I don't really have like a way to police whether people pay up or not. Like we had a bet within the shop. I think maybe a case of beer or something, but like there wasn't a grand prize because I didn't have any way to really police the participants. But yeah, I mean, it was a blast. It's pretty fun to do. Just it kind of adds to the season also.
Who's some of your favorite teams?
College ball, it's the Big Ten. Fuck the SEC and the horse they rode in on. It's
That's how you really feel.
It's a Big Ten. I mean, I think top to bottom athletically, the Big Ten's got the most athletes. They're just not piled on 2 or 3 teams. I mean, Ohio State and a couple others, yeah, they're stacked, but they're not. I would put the mid-card Big Ten team up against anybody else's mid-card guys. It's just spread. The wealth is spread more in the Big Ten. Like, yeah, there's like Alabama's unstoppable. I get it, but once you get past like the 3 or 4 on top in the SEC, they're just like everybody else. And some of the other conferences are trash, and like the ACC's garbage. Once you get past Clemson and Duke this year, there's really not much there, and it's it is what it is. But I don't know, they're doing a lot of realigning here in the next few years, so we'll kind of see what they do, and they're going to expand the playoffs, so it'll change. But I mean, for now, I mean, it's pretty cool. Iowa's ranked 5th in the nation, so I'm 10 minutes away from the 5th ranked national football powerhouse.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I had a future offensive lineman load my shit in this apartment, and he was just massive. Like one of his legs was bigger than my whole body. Just a giant man. And every now and then you drive around downtown, you can tell, that some guys are football players because they're just huge.
Yeah.
Or they intentionally don't wear their shirt or something, and they got an 8-pack. They look like one of them half horse, half man guys, but without the horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, damn, bro, where's your trident? But it's, yeah, there's some big dudes walking around, but yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's just something to do, picking them games. I love football season, and it goes by so quick. It's only like 4.5 months long, and it just flies.
Yeah, it's fun. We had football on last night, and I know it's not, it's not the same. And, we kind of had seasons where we didn't tune in as much, but man, there's just something about, for me at least, working in the kitchen or doing something with, even if my back's turned to the television, because we've kind of got this open concept, and just having it on in the background just kind of is, it's fall. It's very soothing. It's what we grew up listening to. It's just, it's like medicine in the background. So it's kind of hard to deny. I think last night we had the Giants on. I heard that they lost there at the end. So I didn't really tune in too much, but it made me think of something though, when you're talking about this guy that helped move your furniture. And what did you say he was he an Iowa State player? Is that what you said?
No, we don't talk about Iowa State.
I'm sorry. I knew it as soon as I said University of Iowa. I'm sorry. Was he a guy?
Yeah, he already committed. He was a junior in high school, so he's probably a senior in high school now. Then he'll be going over there. The guy, he was just enormous. Like he put Eli's bed together. This massive dude was like squatted down putting this kid's bed together, and it was just like, I mean, his legs were just fucking massive. His knees were like bowling ball size, and his shoulders, he just didn't look human. You know what I mean? He looked like a Rick Moranis movie, Honey, I Blew the Kid Up to 8 feet, 400 pounds.
Please don't tell Nicole that I said that. If she watches or listens, I'm sorry, Nicole. I'm sorry I said Iowa State. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
The story I was going to get to about that was two things. One is that, we used to have the Colts training camp in my town, and so it was nothing to go to a restaurant. You could always tell the group of players based on their size, of course. And then there was another time back in college when I was downtown Indy with some friends and didn't run into them. I saw Reggie Miller, and I think it was Daryl Dawkins, I think is his name, the two Pacers players. And, I'm kind of a fan junkie, or I'm a sports junkie and a fan, so everybody was kind of embarrassed to walk up, but I thought I'm going to give it a try. So I walk up toward Reggie. He very almost aggressively waves me off, like, no, I don't want any part of that. So Daryl Dawkins, I think that's his name, I'm sorry if that's the wrong guy, he looked over almost in pity, I think, and he did stop and let me get an autograph. But Reggie was just too, he was too big for that. He was going to some nightclub or something, he was on his way. He didn't want to be bothered. So I always remember that. Seeing professional players out is I'm starstruck, but that one kind of stung a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's it. Don't ever meet your heroes, or whatever that old saying is.
I guess, yeah. They're bound to disappoint.
Yeah, I was. That brings up two stories. One, that old Pat McAfee got naked and drunk in our fountain downtown there, don't you?
I do, yes.
Yeah, probably one of the greatest punters of all time, next to Ray Guy. Now McAfee's into pro wrestling. He wrestles and does commentary, and yeah, he's on a lot of sports talk radio. Real cool dude. So I kind of take that as an honor that he stripped down and got intoxicated in our fountain.
Yeah, he got a lot of press there for a while. One of the things that we don't talk enough about, I think he had some really great tackles too. I mean, they'd break the line and he'd take care of it from where he was standing. He was a big enough guy and he didn't care. I've seen a couple of good tackles from McAfee.
Yeah, that guy's a living legend. And man, I tell you, there was a time he was calling some college game on a Thursday night, and the other commentary guy that was down on the field kept razzing him about special teams not being important. And needless to say, McAfee set him straight. Like, no, man, no. Hey, look at it like this. Madden has the highest winning percentage, I think, still of any pro coach of all time. And he first draft pick he ever got was a punter. That was Ray Guy. They can flip the field. Punters can.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's happened many a time. Like I said, I probably pay attention. It always kind of frustrated Dad. I'd pay attention to the things that really weren't that important about the game, or, it wasn't the strategy, or I don't care if when I was 5, if I knew all of the signs for, roughing the passer. I knew all the signs when I was a kid. I don't know them all now. And it drives Seth crazy. And so, I tell you that I'm a huge football fan, and I am, but I'm probably not looking and enjoying the same things that you all are. So it's interesting to maybe kind of to have a conversation, although Dad gets a little flustered sometimes.
I just like big, heavy men and silk pants.
Well, then we're on the same page. Well, that's.
Yeah, I watched some of that. I tried to watch some of that New York Washington game. That was a sorry display. That was a contest to see who could give the other team the win. Man.
Oh.
And then I had it muted, and I saw that bum yelling at that guy on the sideline that, I don't know what his name is, Galladay. You're fucked up anyway if your name ain't Holiday and it's Galladay. But anyway, he's yelling at this guy. I thought it was muted, so it was he was yelling at the quarterback that he ain't all there anyway. He shakes his head. You can hear shit rattling around. But anyway, he was yelling at the quarterback, but there was an equipment guy in between the two of them fixing his helmet. And I had the thing muted, and I thought, this motherfucker is yelling at this equipment guy. This guy that makes like, $40,000 a year working 16 hours a day to watch these. I thought he was yelling at the equipment guy. So I turned the game off. I was like, fuck you. And I turned the game off. And come to find out he was yelling at the goofy bastard behind that guy. So, but I mean, that's the mentality that I have about NFL guys. I just assumed he was an arrogant douche, look at this guy, world owes him, he can run fast, so he's a billionaire. So I immediately just kind of took I thought he was laying into the equipment guy about his helmet, so I turned the game off, and then that was it. I saw the highlights. I tried to fast forward through it this morning, but I don't know. It's tough. Like, they need to run a flex schedule so they don't get them shitty matchups with the spotlight on it. Like hide that game on Sunday when there's 13 other games. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like run the good shit on Thursday and Monday if that's all there's gonna be. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's a way they could fix that or something. But anyway, yeah, I saw what kind of was a football game.
Well, I saw it up to the time that the equipment guy was getting chewed out, and I was done.
Yeah, I was like, man, who is this freak jerk, And then he was yelling at the guy. Well, the guy he was yelling at was so dense, it wasn't even like. I mean, at a glance, you wouldn't even know he was listening to that guy. I thought he's just tearing this poor dude a new ass for something about his helmet, but whatever. It was the Giants and the Reds, or I can't call them the Redskins anymore.
What are they called now?
The football team.
They're literally Washington, the football team?
Yeah.
Is that going to stick around? Are they still waiting for votes?
I don't know. I'd say just throw some names in a hat, draw one. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I did see some of that, and yeah, really, I don't know. It's been this kind of a weird week. Everybody got sick, and all of a sudden it's Friday now.
Yeah, it's kind of feels that way here. Although we weren't sick, it was like the week went by fast. We're going to be taking a vacation pretty soon, and vacations are there's irony in them because all of the effort it takes to gear up to get going, and we're going to go far enough away. We're actually going to be all flying as a family, and so I think the majority of the family that are going are going to be on a plane at the same time. And so the other day, Seth looks at me and said, "Should we all be on the same plane at the same time?" Emma's not going with us. And so there's, anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that while I'm excited to go on vacation, it's a lot of damn work. There's a lot of anxiety that leads up to it. I think it takes at least, as I've told you, 2 days maybe to really relax into it. And then, we're going to be there for a little while. So we're going to have a good solid 7 to 8 days where we can really relax. And then, of course, when you return, or getting everybody home is a stressor. And then you get home and it's going to take 2 or 3 days to get back in the swing of things, get back into work. And so I don't know why. Maybe it's an American thing, or if it's just a family thing, or if it's just, I think most people experience this. It's just, why don't we enjoy our vacations? Why don't we, do like Europeans do and take holiday for at least a month? Why is that so foreign to us here in the States? So I don't know. I'm going to cram it all in, and I'm going to say it's the funnest time we've ever had, and we haven't traveled in a long time. So we're going to do our best and try to stay safe, but get to our destination, and we'll be by an ocean. So that'll be good.
Yeah. Don't feel bad if all you do is sit in a chair and drink a beer.
Oh no, there won't be any feeling bad about that. The place we're going is actually, it's on an island, or it's kind of inclusive. It's like a little village kind of feel to it, and we actually will be staying in a house, and it's a rental property, but it's owned by a friend of ours from high school. So we got some discounts, which is good, and we're gonna have our own like golf cart that will take us throughout any place we want to go. It's just a block from the beach, and so I'm thinking it'll be probably one of our best family vacations. And this may be one of the few times we'll get to travel with some of the family that's going. So my mom and his parents are going, and so we'll try to make the best of it. But so I'm already in like worry mode. If I forget something, the dog's got to get shot, so I got to clip her nails. And where she's staying, she's gonna maybe stay with Emma a little bit, or she's gonna maybe go to the dog groomers over here for a couple of days. It's just, I don't know. I'll relax when I'm actually sitting on the plane, I think.
Yeah, they need to have like all the times when I was in the military and I would take leave and I'd go do a bunch of shit, I'd always think to myself, why didn't I ever just take some leave and just lay on my couch at home? Like, why why didn't I just sit on a porch with a beer for like 5 days? Or, you know, like I always kind of wondered that. Like I've come off of vacations just tired as shit before, and yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just what we do.
Yeah, it'll be great memories looking back. And sometimes if every day isn't great, the farther you're away from them, the greater they look. So I'll try to take a ton of pictures, and then I'll write my own story a few years from now. So it'll be fine. I think one of the days we're going to drive over to see my uncle who lives down there, and we haven't seen him in a while. And you know, it's always kind of well, and you do this a lot. You travel and you'll stay with family, and I don't do that a whole lot. So this will be, you know, we'll stay with them, and whatever their routines are that are different, or, you know, their eating schedule, or the way they, you know, take your shoes off before you step on the carpet. You know, I'm going to have to like navigate the, because I'll be there just with mom, and it'll zoom me back down to being like a teenager again. You know, when you're with your parents, sometimes you kind of get back in that childlike mode. And so here I am going to take her to see her brother, and I'll be driving. But as soon as I hit that house, I'll be the young one, you know, and so I'll be the teenager in the house. But that's okay. It is what it is.
Yeah, hopefully they.
Can you tell I'm really looking forward to it?
They didn't tell you about the dog the size of a rhinoceros they have for no reason, or the 7 parakeets that just fly around, or whatever the fuck, you know. I never understood that. I don't want a dog big enough to rip my damn jugular out. Dogs get bored, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want one that I can hop on there and kind of manhandle it if it gets out of control or something. But
I've always thought dogs that were approaching human size got a little creepy, especially male dogs that are not neutered. And I'll just leave it there. I'm thinking, why are we looking at a naked young man? I mean, you know, there's just a part of me that's so yeah, the size of dogs and how they are managed is important to me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bring in a dog that's got a package 3 times the size of mine and feed it and keep it alive, and then try to impress Nicole in any kind of way. I'm not gonna make myself look bad on.
Oh shoot. I always think those kind of dogs roaming around and just like jaunting back and forth in a living room while you're having a conversation with grandma. They're just too distracting.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't understand it either. I wouldn't get a nice home and then put a damn camel in there. I don't understand, but to each their own, I guess. I mean, if you're gonna have a dog that big, you might as well get a monkey and train it to ride the damn thing around. At least get something out of it. Get one of them little dancing monkeys with the hats and the tambourine, and have him just ride around on it or something.
Yeah, use that small pony for entertainment.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just got a different logic. You know, I don't want something that can wrap its mouth around my face or its package.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, as we were talking tonight about what we might want to share, you know, it's been a little over a week, and we've tried to do one of these once a week. I tried to come up with some questions maybe that might kind of carry us through for the last few minutes of our show tonight. So let me pose a question out of my handy dandy 52 lists of happiness, or for happiness, I guess. And it's kind of a journaling book, but I thought, well, Jesse might get a kick out of some of these questions. So I'd like you to do me a favor. Tell me 3 things you remember that made you happy when you were, I don't know, say between 8 and 10 years old? You're a little boy. What are 3 things that kind of made you happiest back then?
Going to Lee's video and scoring big on a Saturday morning video game rental, getting, they were like $1.25 for a Nintendo game. If I could get 2 winners, man, that was a good feeling. I don't know, number 2, probably scoring a home run or a touchdown or something, just playing sports in the backyard with the family or neighbor kids was always fun. 3, watching wrestling, probably. I loved watching wrestling. When I was Saturday morning or Sunday morning, that's all that we got. We didn't have pay-per-view stuff at the house hardly ever, and we didn't have cable for a long time, so we just got like here's this bum with a weird looking mullet and lightning pants. He's in the ring before Dusty Rhodes comes out. Gee, I wonder who's gonna win. And he'd get mauled for about 10 minutes, and then they'd go on to the next match. But and you get a highlight package, maybe a Ric Flair and Sting or something, or Hulk Hogan or Ultimate Warrior or somebody. But yeah, for me, probably those 3 things really, if I could think of, being 8 to 10 years old. But Ninja Turtles, I love them.
You got to give it a passive but unforgotten shout out to the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, hell yeah, they're still a big influence today. We got Eli a bunch of Ninja Turtle stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, those are good. Well, we're going to compare here in a minute for what makes you happy now. But if I had to give 3 things of that age for me, it was I had a great friend in the neighborhood, and she had this really cool basement that had like, this is going to sound bad when I start to say it, but I mean, let me finish the story. But, they had back then a lot of supports for these poles down there, and we loved to roller skate. And she had one pole in one corner, and then across the room in the other corner, another support pole or post. And man, we'd get to going so fast, and we'd do like big figure 8s around those poles in our roller skates. And back then, roller skates that you got like at Kmart or, like they weren't very expensive. And sometimes they even had, some were metal, but these happened to be, I think they had like the gummy soles on them. And but man, her basement had some cracks, unfortunately, in the floor down there. And if you hit it just wrong, you would go flying. Good thing is she had a lot of laundry down there. And back then, a lot of old houses had their laundry in their basement or laundry areas. She had 3 other sisters. So there were 4 girls, and they all had loads of clothes. And so there was always some big pile of clothes, clean, dirty, or otherwise, you could like fall into and save yourself. But I remember playing in my friend's basement. That was one. We had a blast. I loved Barbies back then. So if I could get like a new outfit even for a Barbie, it was a great score for a weekend. And then closer to about probably going on toward 11, I love to go to Airway, which is kind of like the old Target of the day, and get a new 45 record. And I was probably looking for, even back then, Prince. So that was probably what. So those are the things that I liked when I was about 8 or 10. So, okay, so let's fast forward. Let's compare what are some 3 things that make you happy now? They don't have to be in an order, just 3 things that come to mind.
I'd say anytime Eli does something good, something like if he's having fun, I'm watching him have fun doing stuff at therapy, or he had a good day at school, or just today, just watching him play in the tub, gave him a bath. He's got a red ring around his ass from that fever, and he's had the shit, so he's got like tender ass going. So I dunked him put him in the tub for a little while, and we've been putting some of that cream or that salve on there. And yeah, just him playing in the tub, having fun. I found a couple extra toys. I threw him in there. I found a little ball with like little spiky things on it, little rubber ball. He was playing with that in there. And yeah, I watched him do that for almost an hour, and it didn't even seem like it was an hour. So probably that. I still like watching good pro wrestling. Maybe a good sporting event. I love Saturday. Waking up tomorrow's going to be, I'll be in my zenith. I mean, I'll wake up in my recliner. I'll turn College Game Day on, and it's college football till bedtime. As long as I can stay awake, I mean, they'll be running games. You know, because like the stuff out west doesn't even kick off till like 9:30, sometimes 10 here, but I can't stay awake that long. But it's a whole day of football tomorrow. Seeing how I did on my picks. I like to eat a bunch of food and take a nap. That feels nice.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, and all those things really do sound great. I do remember, and I'm going to steal one from you, because I can tell you as an adult, one of the funnest things for me was bath time for your kids. I mean, actually, I have to admit, a lot of it was enjoying the toys that come along with bath time. I mean, they've come so far. I remember, but even when Emma was small, 20 years ago, just, you know, stackable blocks that have, or cups, the cups that have holes in them, and then you just run them. And I mean, here I am. So yes, I mean, bath time is very Zen-like. It's very like, yeah, oh my gosh, it's time to get out. Okay. So that's a great memory. Thanks for reminding me of that. The other thing I was going to say was, and it has to do with my kids, as they get older, you'll find that when they give you their attention and their time, or they come to you when maybe they don't typically come to you. Emma the other day locked her keys in her car, and normally Dad's the go-to, but she got to me first. And so when when my kids come to me for something and they still call me Mom, that's a great time that gives me joy. And something kind of probably very basic. I think feeding, well, it has to do with food. I guess I would say when my family is fed, comfortable, and entertained. So a lot of my stuff does have to do with family, I guess, which is, I'm not ashamed of. It's just, as I talk it out, I'm like, yeah, you know, my family does give me a lot of joy. So I'm glad to say that. And I'm glad that I got this opportunity to have a family. So yeah, that's cool. Well, that was just my little idea for the ending of maybe our talk tonight. Is there anything else that you want to share about your week before we wrap up?
No, not really. I mean, it was just kind of, we were in the apartment most of the week. Really tried to make minimal outings. I'd go to the gas station across the street here and get a big gulp and a Nathan's hot dog every now and then. But yeah, we just tried to. Yeah, if you ever get a Nathan's hot dog, that's the ones they eat at the hot dog contest, you know, over there in Coney Island. Mm-hmm. They got them here in Iowa, actually, in packs, and then the gas station over here has them on the roller. And I'll tell you, it's a Nathan's hot dog is as close to being sausage without being a sausage. You know what I mean? Really, I don't even put anything on it. I just get it off the roller, throw it on a bun, and eat it. It's so flavorful as it is. And every time I eat one, I always think of that dude. I'm like, man, imagine eating like 74 more of these things, you know. But yeah, I love those. And then, you know, they got the dollar big. I love a big old soda with crushed ice in a foam cup that lasts you until about 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Love it. So those have gotten us through, and it's just across the street there, so that's not too far. But yeah, we've been pretty much just taking it easy, waiting for this damn cold to go through. And I think I'm the last of the group to have any symptoms left. So hopefully by the end of the weekend it'll be gone.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear you're getting better. So it's always gives you pause when you hear that your family is getting a COVID test. So I'm glad you're good, brother.
Yeah, we'll survive. I tried to get him to check my prostate in there. He wouldn't do it.
Yes.
That's another story. One time when I went to the VA, I begged that old lady to finger my ass. I drove all the way there in a tornado weather, 45-minute drive, to be checked from head to toe. And she asked, well, have you ever had your prostate checked? And I was about I was about 35, my mid-30s, I think, if I'm doing the math right. And I said, well, no, I haven't. And she said, well, you don't have to have this done for the examination. I said, well, no, I kind of do want to have it done. Like, since she brought it up, I was like, no, I mean, because I'm thinking I drove all the way here. The sky's fucking purple and green outside. Like, the weather is shit. Like, we went out to eat at Olive Garden after the appointment, and the power went out in Olive Garden. I mean, this weather was bad, and I drove all the way there. I'm thinking, well, if you're checking everything, let's check everything. So I insisted on her to finger my ass, this old lady, and she got kind of mad because I wouldn't turn it down. So she goes and gets the secretary, who is the secretary up front, because I guess she needs a female witness outside of Nicole, just in case. What would I care? I mean, obviously you're not going to finger my ass unless you're like, a gang of people holding me down, or I'm going to ask you to do it, So what am I going to say? So anyway, she goes up front and gets this lady. She's a heavy set lady up front. She had a really loud laugh, and I could hear her laugh when that lady asked her to come back and watch me get my butthole fingered. Because I could just see that lady stomping up to the front of the building, like, this son of a gun, he won't turn down a prostate check. I told her, you know what I mean? Because I could tell she didn't want to do it. But yeah, I had her get in there and look because I didn't know. I mean, they say you're supposed to get it checked that's the only time I've ever had that done. But anyway, I don't know why we went off on that tangent, but
I'm glad that was at the end. No pun intended.
It was in the end. But it came back clean, so did her finger.
I'm done.
All right, let's do these shout outs and then we'll call it. I don't want to get any more intellectual than that. We'll chase people off. Let's see. Take care of your veterans. Always support your veterans. Take care of your mental health. That's important. There's a lot of fucked up shit in the world. Find somebody to talk to. There's a lot of people out there that want to help you. I've gone after help before. Don't be ashamed of it. Autism awareness, autism inclusion. Let's learn as much as we can about autism. My son has autism. He's a beautiful boy, and I'm proud of him, and I love him. And definitely, I'll always support any kind of progression towards helping people with autism. We're on all the social media platforms, literally everything from Tumblr to Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We're on all the leading podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Everything is under SameDadPodcast, one word, and just Google it or type it in the search and it'll all pop up. I always like to have a song at the end. There's one that I've been listening to here the last couple of days that popped up. I take pride in my country and blues playlist. That's also in the link in the descriptions on our YouTube videos down towards the bottom. The song is by Lacey J. Dalton. It's called 16th Avenue. It's a really good song. I suggest listening to that. You got anything to add, Kellie, on the closing?
I don't. I just want to, again, tell everyone to, find a trusted source for information. We're not through this pandemic. So, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your neighbor. We're all in this together. And so it's important to learn as much as you can and try to have some patience. We're just not quite done yet. I do want to say that one of my favorite songs I've been listening to or came up in a conversation recently, which fits the month. Literally one of my favorite songs is by Earth, Wind and Fire, September. And so now's the month. It makes sense. Go out and listen to it. That's it for me, Jess.
Awesome. Everybody hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the little bell so you get updates. We pump out one of these pearls of wisdom a week. Hope you all enjoyed it. It was another wonderful time, Kellie. I enjoyed it. We love you guys. And, as always, thanks for the support and take care of yourselves. Love y'all. Till next time.